In this video, we're going to talk about personal antifragility and the 9 core principles of it. And it is one of the core elements, personal antifragility, of total living, together with total presence and hyperproductivity. So let's just quickly define what personal antifragility means, because it's quite a long word, or 2 words. In the best-selling book Antifragile, the author Nassim Taleb illustrates everything in life has, to varying degrees, three different relations to chaos, adversity, and randomness, also called volatility. So what are those 3? It is 1, fragile, when it's harmed by volatility, and it's at its best unharmed, like a porcelain cup. It can also be robust, when it's neutral to volatility, nothing happens. But it can also be antifragile, when it benefits from volatility. If it's antifragile, it's at its worst unharmed, like the Greek mythological creature called Hydra, who got 2 new heads whenever one was cut off. Thus, Hydra was unstoppable. Another way to put it, you've probably seen packages labeled fragile or handled with care. This is because the object will be damaged if it falls or is in a turbulent truck. Normal packages are robust and are thus not labeled. But if the package was anti-fragile, it would say, please mishandle, or please handle with miscare, or whatever. So imagine that the package becomes larger every time you threw it to the ground or try to break it. The same principles also matter for your life and your mindset. If you're personally fragile, you depend on everything following the exact course and plan. You hate chaos, mistakes, adversity, and surprises because they harm you. Everything that comes in conflict with your inner peace crushes you like a porcelain cup, leaving you with physical and mental damages like fear, trauma, PTSD, etc. You seek protection, security, and well-being at all costs, since you know that you cannot survive otherwise. So this is the reality if you're personally fragile, like many people are. But if you're robust, you're resilient and tough. Nothing in life can harm you, since you will come back to your initial state. But you don't benefit from negative events that happen to you. They are just mere nuisance, obstacles that show up. But with personal antifragility, your relationship with obstacles drastically change. If you're personally antifragile, nothing in life can harm you, and you will become better because of the obstacles, not despite them. Whatever happens to you is the best thing ever, making you stronger, wiser, and more experienced, also called post-traumatic growth in severe circumstances. You love and want more chaos, mistakes, adversity, and surprises, because they propel you forward like an arrow after previously being launched backwards from a bow. First it goes backward, and then it suddenly becomes forward very fast. You also don't need to predict and worry, since you trust nature in giving you what you deserve. You get an entirely new perspective on life and obstacles. They are now opportunities, as Ryan Holiday's bestseller, The Obstacle is the Way, asserts. And also as Stoicism, the classic philosophy, also asserts that you make lemonade of the lemons, success from your failed attempts, and transform the negative into the positive. Thus, you become truly unstoppable. Personal antifragility is a mindset for success whatever happens. It is these core beliefs that allow you to move forward and be pleased with everyone trying to stop you. You become the Hydra, with which everyone tries to cut your head off, but you always grow more back with more retaliation, with more vengeance. You become the package that grows after every fall. You always progress forward, never regress backward. Sounds awesome, right? In order to change your mindset, you need to rewrite your story. You need to give new interpretations to your basic reactions to everything. You need to ask why every time you feel frustrated, worried, or hopeless, to find out the underlying assumption and replace it with a personally anti-fragile one. But you can start this journey today. To instill this unstoppable mindset, here are once again 9 principles to adopt and repeat to yourself. Principle number 1. Always look for challenge, growth, and pain. Throughout our childhoods and religions, we have been promised salvation and to live happily ever after. If we could just enter this paradise of no problems, everything would be fantastic. But this is a mirage, a quite destructive illusion. To prove my point, go to the most beautiful beach at the best weather you can ever think of. Spend a week there without your phone and see how bored you become after just a few minutes. As Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl, which by the way lived to 92 years old, which is a truly anti-fragile man, he says the following: what he needs is not a discharge of tension at any cost, but the call of a potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him. The real paradise has challenges, growth, and pain, because that makes our life worth living. Instead of avoiding these stressors like fragile people, you want to incorporate them into your daily life. After all, they make you stronger and wiser, which is what you want anyway. Therefore, you should always feel a little bit confused, but with a thrill of adventure. Principle number 2. When in doubt, remove, don't add. In the book Antifragile, Nassim Taleb proposes via negativa, the negative way, as a rigorous approach to life. By removing what is no longer serving you, whether material belongings, beliefs, identities, and habits, you get the benefits without potential side effects. To understand this, you need to understand the following. Every antifragile entity has fragile parts. Society has perishable humans, bodies have perishable cells, and you have perishable beliefs and thoughts. Evolution depends on sacrificing part of the system to become stronger overall. Everything grows by removing what is no longer working. So in the same way, you want to constantly get rid of what is fragile in you, which means what does not like chaos, adversity, and misery. And examples of these fragilizers, as I call them, are goals, expectations, narratives, overthinking, identities, beliefs, and standards. Always question them and see if they hold up to current reality. If not, discard them, because they are like clothes and you're so much better than your beliefs. Principle number 3. Be both extremely safe and risky. The barbell strategy, in other words.
Okay, Oscar, I know it sounds exciting, but aren't you a little bit delusional by now? Because we're all going to die one day, and we are quite vulnerable after all to extreme shocks and crashes, so I don't really get the unstoppable thing.
You're absolutely right. We are personally anti-fragile up to a certain point. Although exercise is good for your bones, you certainly would not appreciate being thrown down a skyscraper and face planting asphalt. That would not be a good idea. So to mitigate this risk of ruin, the supreme strategy is to be both extremely safe and risky. Like a barbell, we want to avoid compromise, but go for both extremes. The classic example is personal finance. Some investments are riskier than others, from safe, hyper-conservative assets such as government bonds to highly volatile ones such as IPOs and cryptocurrencies. When using the barbell strategy, you invest only at the extremes, which in this case means government bonds and cryptocurrencies. With this distribution, you have now decided how much you can maximally lose, which is only 10%. Conversely, the amount you can gain is infinite. You're now unstoppable and want as much volatility as possible, protected from the downside. You can adjust the distribution between the extremes depending on your risk tolerance. Another example is personal productivity and life performance. You want to play it safe and be reliable with commitments and high important tasks that need to get done, no matter how you feel like. At the same time, you should spend the rest of your days in unplanned spontaneity, doing whatever you want. In this exploratory phase, you will stumble across opportunities you could not expect before and take full advantage of them. Visit all rabbit holes, goof off, and get lost. An example of this barbell strategy is Google. They have the famous 20% time rule, where employees are encouraged to work on what they think is the most fun and benefits the company. Free from all expectations, the company gets to play around and explore. This is how the major innovations like AdSense, Google News, and Gmail got invented. So be like Google and be both reliable and spectacular. And you can read in the description a more in-depth article about how you can achieve it in practice. It's simpler than you think. And I also written an ebook about this called the Barbell System, which you can also find in the description. Principle number 4. Do not set goals and expectations, but adjust to the present reality, expand your options and size opportunities instead. A good way to imagine fragile things is a grayscale. At the end of this scale, which you set your ideal future, everything that is darker is more catastrophic and a failure because it did not reach the intended outcome. Your expectation does not like chaos. This is how your emotions work, because they are determined by your expectation. You come in and expect things to be a certain way, and if it's better, you become very happy. But if it's worse, as is most of the time, you become unhappy. Imagine a toddler that cries because its new present was the wrong type of blue. That is high expectations right there. And goals are the ultimate expectations, because either you succeed or you fail. Since they set your bar for internal success, you're constantly reassuring yourself that everything will be okay. You're scared of not meeting up to your arbitrary standards and cannot prove anything to yourself. And I don't want you to be in this unnecessary misery. Therefore, do not set goals and expectations. But then you say, if I remove my goals, I will not have an aim in life. I will not know where I'm going. I cannot succeed since I will no longer know what success looks like. This dumbfounded belief has a name, the teleological fallacy. And it is as old as Aristotle. The truth is, nobody knows where they are going. The world is extremely complex and unpredictable. Black swans exist that can throw your entire world upside down at any moment. Moreover, you miss precious opportunities because you are so locked into one target. Remember Google's 20% time rule. This target might even be bad for you and it is time to move on. But thanks to the sunk cost bias, you're afraid to do so. Instead, As an anti-fragile person, you know that whatever happens will benefit you. Thus, you do not need to predict, just go with the flow. Observe unconditionally, take advantage of your options, and recognize opportunities as they come. This is how people succeed, as this paper, which I link in the description, argues in length here. The payoffs can be extremely huge, as Silicon Valley and angel investing has shown us. So in short, focus on habits, the problems around you, the first steps and small actions. Evaluate as you go, and you will get what you deserve much faster while enjoying the Evaluate as you go, and you will get what you deserve much faster while enjoying the process. Principle number 5. Prepare to benefit from the worst case scenario. So beside principle 3, which I talked about, you should also embrace redundancy. Have margins of safety in case a rare event happens. If you can benefit from a crisis while others do not, you're in a much more valuable position. If goals were previously the best case scenario, we can learn a lot from looking at the potential worst case scenario. As we learned in point 3, we should be both safe and risky. The 98-year-old successful billionaire investor Charlie Munger has a saying, "All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I will never go there." And he hasn't gone there by now, fortunately. So that's a very valid approach. In the same way, you want to focus on preventing harm. Take large margins of safety in case rare crisis happens. Have lots of time factored in so you can still get on time if there are delays. This redundancy is nature's way of ensuring itself. You have 2 kidneys for a reason. You grow bigger muscles to withstand greater shocks. In addition, if you're prepared for a crisis while others do not, you're in a much more valuable position. Businesses can sell it for a large premium if the supply has stopped and demand has risen, like toilet paper when COVID-19 hit. Thus you benefit from the extra insurance. Principle number 6. Love imperfect actions and small errors. Most people don't get started because they set too high standards. But if you're okay with a clumsy start and adjust after feedback, you will go so much faster. No need to wait. It is human nature to not want to waste time and energy. Thus we fear that we do not do the right actions to start. We hope that there will always be green lights throughout the journey, even if we do not know where we are going. The truth is, imperfect actions is much better than no actions. Instead of fearing it, you use it to your advantage. Trial and error will always outperform design. As the old karate saying goes, it's easier to move when you're in motion. By running around but observing the feedback you get, you surpass all procrastinators out there who are frozen in their fear to start. You're in explore mode and can optimize later but faster. In addition, errors and failures benefit you since they provide the information. Your brain focuses more whenever errors occur, and errors are crucial for the neuroplasticity, which means your ability to learn. Therefore, if you never fail, you never learn. And if you never learn, you never grow. And if you never grow, you will get behind, etc. So start after watching this video with the thing you put off. Don't be afraid to look stupid, because the fool is a precursor to the savior. Principle number 7. Trust nature and do not intervene. Resist the urge to micromanage your results and check in too often. Let things happen instead by trusting that nature is favorable for you, because at the same time, you do not want too much action. And this is because the world is a complex system which does not respond well to too much input. You need to step back. You need to step back and let things take care of themselves regularly to gain the ultimate perspective, see the forest for the trees, and start the next action. Also, you want to avoid naive interventionism, which is when you fix things that should otherwise be left alone. Let your body heal, mind rest, and keep employees from micromanagement. This includes checking in too much on data and notifications, for instance social media. You mistake easily the noise, which is the random fluctuations, to the signal. Not all informations are created equal. So how do you balance action with non-action? Just like the barbell strategy, you want to pursue both extremes. Do the intense activity for the short time and then rest the entire day. And as the bestseller Peak Performance says, stress plus rest equals growth. And the 2,400-year-old Chinese book Tao Te Ching also preaches the value of letting go to gain everything. So by being personally anti-fragile, you already trust that nature is favorable for you. Listen to it and nature will listen back to you. Principle number 8. Criticism is a good sign. It is human nature to be afraid of other people critiquing and harming us. However, there are multiple examples showing the intention of harm actually helps you, also called inverse iatrogenics. Authors like Ayn Rand became widely famous because of the critiques from established reviewers. Revolutionists grow stronger under oppression. Hackers make systems stronger by trying to infiltrate them. How? Because of a simple truth. If people cares as much about a topic to hate it, it means that it's not boring. And everything boring is invisible and forgotten. However, there is a polarizing effect. Whenever people dislike something, there is an equal amount of liking in it, because the light and the shadow coexist. In the book Antifragile, Nassim Taleb asserts that you're better off having a small cult-like amount of followers while having a large disliking. Super consumers want to do everything for you, and you can gain the best outcome that way. You only need 1,000 true fans to massively succeed in business. So, whenever you feel and you receive unhelpful comments, be happy. They are damaging their reputations while propelling you forward. Principle number 9. Value practice over theory. Theories are fragile since they come and go and come and go. Ancient rule of thumb, simple enough to adopt, has stayed with us as a human species and propelled us to where we are today. By obsessing over the simple, almost trivial things, you can use them to propel your practice forward. And as every master knows, the wisdom comes almost solely from experience and practice. Put in your volume of work and watch it bear fruit while enjoying the process. Do not overthink it, just do and learn. Because it's only by doing and relaxing that you understand what is truly working. After all, the best way to discover the future is to create it. So to recap, here are the previously discussed 9 principles of personal antifragility. By incorporating, nothing will stop you. Principle number 1, always look for challenge, growth and pain. Principle number 2, when in doubt, remove, don't add. Principle number 3, be both extremely safe and risky. Principle number 4, do not set goals and expectations, but adjust to the present reality, expand your options and size your opportunities instead. Principle number 5, prepare to benefit from the worst scenario. Principle number 6, love imperfect actions and small errors. Principle number 7, trust nature and do not intervene. Principle number 8, criticism is a good sign. And principle number 9, value practice over theory. As stated in the beginning, it will take some time for the mindset to fully kick in. You have to identify all the hidden assumptions you tell yourself all the time. Fortunately, by now you got an unstoppable lens to view the world. After all, let us finish this video with a quote from Donella Meadows discussing paradigms and mindsets, which, by the way, is the most powerful leverage point on complex systems, which are us in the world. Quote, people who cling to paradigms, which meet just about all of us, take one look at the spacious possibility that everything they think is guaranteed to be nonsense and pedal rapidly in the opposite direction. Surely there is no power, no control, no understanding, not even a reason for being, much just acting, in the notion of experience that there is no certainty in any worldview. But in fact, everyone who has managed to entertain that idea for a moment, for a lifetime, has found it to be the basis for radical empowerment. If no paradigm, mindset here, is right, you can choose whatever one will help you to achieve your purpose. So be personally anti-fragile and let every second fuel you to greatness.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, where I dive deeper on one of the articles I publish every day for that particular week. Plus some other good stuff too. See you!